Ganun yung dating sa akin eh.
For Kyrie, definitely. Pero yeah, we're going, ito na yung draft natin, Butters. This draft is brought to you by Smart. And look at the bans agad dito ng Execreation. They don't want to see a Barats na magamit dito ng, most likely that's gonna be a Dilar hero. And na-mention mo to kanina, one of the highly contested, or rather ibaban dito is yung Ling.
Yes, and it's one hero na alam nila na kapag ikaw yung pagka yung kabilang team yung first pick, kailangan mo siya tanggalin. Kasi ayaw mo ibigay sa kanila yung priority na yon. And for the side of Execreation, that is going to be... alam ko matataas yung mga win rate na itong mga to eh. Yung Ling nila ay nasa 71.43%, 7 times nila pinik. Doon naman sa side ng Onic, yung Ling, pareho lang din.
Yes.
71.43. Halos pareho lang sila dito.
Yes, and for sure, both of the teams, pinag-aralan nila yung bawat isa and nakita nila na why give it to the other team. I mean, Execreation definitely would probably pick it. Kahapon ginawa to during the work versus NXP na pinaprioritize nila yung Ling, and you wouldn't fault them. Talagang ang Ling talaga ngayon, once you get this hero, ang dami mong options to on your draft. Meanwhile, Execreation would want to ban a Benedetta as well for Onic-Ph. So ngayon, so mapapansin mo dito, no, in terms of Execreation, they were actually targeting the side lanes ngayon ng Onic-Ph.
And kung napapansin mo dito, Rob, the Benedetta, grabe yung bigayan nila. Grabe yung bigayan ng Execreation dito in terms of Benedetta. Alam ko, madaming beses sila to pinik eh. Like mga 9 times probably or 10 times probably. So, nai-gets mo na these kinds of heroes na annoying, na ang bilis gumalaw sa mapa, and kaya talaga nilang mag-rotate on that certain hero, pipiliin ng Onic at tatanggalin na nila yon. Execreation, nakita nila yung silina ni Kyrie, kaya tinanggal na lang nila dito.
Yes, definitely. Kung isipin mo, no, Onic-Ph did pick the Benedetta 10 times. Though it's a 50% win rate, pero kasi it's very annoying kasi to have a Benedetta on your side lane. Mas magiging mabilis yung pag-cut ng lanes. Not only that, yung invade, there's always a possibility to invade your jungler. But yeah, Farsa will be out dito para sa Execreation. What would be their the first pick na pwede nilang gawin dito? They could probably go for Uranus kung gusto nila yung route na yon, or
well, actually, pwede rin sila dito kumuha ng ano ba, mga Uranus actually is still there. Meron pa silang mga Popolan Kupa.
PK, yeah.
PK.
Pwedeng. Pero kasi Execreation, parang mas naging successful sila pagka ang hero ni Chuck, no, yes, Matilda. Or
Matilda.
Pag yung mga hero niya is yung mga set type of heroes na yun nga, yung minention natin kanina, it was the Grok, the Kufra, but you're right, it's gonna be the PNK, and you wouldn't fault them from that. 'Di ba? Kasi mas magiging maganda yung well, honestly, etong PNK nga na to, pwede pa rin tong hawakan ni Eto Max.
Oo, and hindi kasi nag-settle sa normal drafting setup ngayon ang side ng Execreation.
Yeah.
They actually go for a very, sabihin na lang natin, non-traditional, at sila lang yung gumagawa nun. And I like the flavor kasi nare-recognize sila na hindi tayo malakas dun sa normal, so gumawa tayo ng sarili nating brand, and ang lakas nila sa sarili lang brand ng MLB.
Exactly. But regarding on the stats, PNK for the side of Execreation didn't have a single win. For 4 times nila tong na-pick. So, well, di natin masabi, baka hindi rin in-overlook din ng Onic-Ph yun dahil nga they're not having a good stat with it, baka hindi nila i-pick. Pero Execreation, there's a time na a 2 week from the regular season, and most of the time, yun yung nagiging parang transition period mo. Yung mga hindi mo nagagamit, or rather hindi maganda yung performance mo during the regular season, pwede mong gamitin ngayon dito kasi hindi siya mapapansin ng opposing team. But meanwhile, Onic-Ph having this Alice, ito isa sa mga paboritong hero ni Iyaknu.
Iyaknu will have fun with this hero, and Alice parang nag-fall na siya from grace. Nung una, mga first few weeks, ang dalas niya kunin eh. Pero ngayon, yung mga last few weeks ng MPL, lalo na regular season, even in the playoffs, parang hindi talaga siya nabibigyan ng priority. Dati lagi pang binabanto eh.
Yes. Pero isipin mo with Iyaknu 66% win rate with this hero, worth talagang i-pick. But ito, maaalala mo to, if I'm not mistaken, that was week 2, kung saan nga binansagang Angela. Is gamit nila to with Jay, itong Angela na to. And wow, Ruby!
It could be an Iyakno special. Pwede na rin naman gamitin ni Dilar kasi sinasabi nga natin, naglilin sila sa mga tanky heroes. And sa totoo lang, napakaganda ng fighting potential ng isang Alice at ng Ruby dahil dun sa Angela agad.
Yes, and kung isipin mo, no, sobrang antaas ng sustain ng mga heroes dito ng Onic-Ph. And ano ba ang pwedeng ipang-counter dito ng Execreation? Shaknu, or rather, itong Chang'o na to, ito kasi yung mga tipo ng hero na hindi mo siya ibibuildan kaagad ng Necklace of Durance. Most likely, it's gonna be the PNK would do the Deadly Blade. And if you would want to put another Deadly Blade para dito sa Claude, medyo babagal or hihina yung damage output mo. So, yeah, I was really leaning towards kung paano kakounterin dito ng Execreation yung mga high sustain heroes ngayon ditong binabato ng Onic-Ph.
Well, it is going to be a problem for them kasi nga sabihin na lang natin, yes may Chang'o kayo, yes may Durance Wielder kayo, pero kasi kailangan nyo pa ng extra damage Hindi burst damage ang isang Chang'o. Nagmumukha siyang burst damage kasi ang dami niyang ginagawang damage or ang dami niyang binabatong skill at one point and at a time. Pero ang usual naman kasi nangyayari dyan, Rob, is pa isa-isa lang yun na talagang nadadagdagan lang with the armor, with the shields na meron siya. And it's a crazy mechanic for the Chang'o. Now, Claude ang pinili nila at yung Execreation, todo ano na sila dyan alam na nila na yan it's their probable jungle. Pwede din naman nila bigay kay Kelra.
Yes.
But at the same time, tinanggal nila yung land. So, meron implication para sa akin na baka ito yung jungle na gagamitin nila.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you na this might be their jungler. Kasi whenever you see a Chang'o, that most of the time, ang pwesto niyan is gonna be on the gold lane. So what we are trying to look here on Execration side is kung sino ba or ano yung kanilang magiging fighter sustain wherein yun yung gagamitin dito ni Renjo. So that might be, since wala na dito yung Barats, even the Benedetta, a Lapu-Lapu could be a good pick para dito kay Renjo. So ang kinakancel na ngayon dito ng Onic-Ph is mostly Kelra's heroes. Those were the Harriet and even the Lunox. So Kagura ang napili dito ng Execration, which is Kyrie's most, sabihin na natin na talagang tatatak sa'yo pagka ginagamit ni Kyrie ang isang Kagura. So right at this point, they could definitely pick a hero dito para kay Kyrie na agad. Since, or rather, kumuha na sila dito ng jungler para dito kay Hate. So since ang ganda ng pagban dito ng Execration for the Lancelot. So kung wala na yung choices dito ni sabihin na natin ni Hate in between those yung mga flashy type of hero, pero meron pang isang hero na nagagamit niya, and I would like to see kung ano yung win rate nun. I would like to say the Roger, but Brody ang napili nila dito. And going back for Brody, they never in the regular season picked a Brody for Onic-Ph.
And this is an Onic special. Papakita nila sa atin kung paano nga ba ang paggamit nila dito ng Brody. Pero kasi naniniwala din ako, Rob, na itong Ruby na to, pwede siya sa position 4
Now that I think of
side
it,
lane to
pwede. Kasi you could definitely put the Angela on the mid as your, sabihin na natin, the one who would wield the mask. Meaning parang siya yung tank pero support technically. Pero yeah, I agree with you na pwedeng nasa gitna itong Ruby and Angela na to, but a Veil would be the answer. Medyo this gonna be tricky for Execration, given that there are heroes dito like for example itong Alice na to that could definitely go into their backlines and disrupt the formation dito ng Execration, wherein that's the weakness of a Veil. Pagka nadikitan na siya ng isang Alice dito, parang it's either you flicker out or kailangan mo siyang tamaan ng tornado mo in order for you to get out of the blood.
And they get the Diggy, and this is bad for the side of Execration. If Diggy Stratman ang gawin nila dito, that is going to be something na kailangan sagutin ng side ng Execration. But meron din tayong Brody. So ibig sabihin, this could be a standard Diggy strategy.
Wow. I mean, both of the teams are actually putting out heroes that they've never used on the regular season. Itong Veil na to, Butters, never din ginamit to ng Execration. Kung maaalala ko ng tama, ginamit na to ni Etomax, but that was way season 6. Pero this time around, ngayong Season 7, never. The only one na naaalala ko na gumamit ng Blade was Next Play Esports.
It is a battle of range for the side of Execreation. If you would see, yung kanilang lineup, isipin mo, meron kang Shango, meron kang Veil, meron kang Popol and Koopa. Tapos, yung si Renjo, kaya pa mag-burst down ng mga tao sa likod. And they will pave the way para si Kiel VJ ay makapag-farm ng tama. Meron silang tamang proper, sabihin natin, proper fighting potential dito sa early game with these 4 heroes na meron sila. But on the side of Onic, dito kasi pumapasok yung feeding Biggie strat bato.
Ako, I would assume, yes, it will. Kasi parang parang there's a part of me that they would want the Brody talaga to go into just farming and have the Angela on the mid, just clearing out the waves habang nandi-disrupt yung Biggie. And given that the side lanes dito ng Onic-Ph, that's a Ruby na mahirap i-burst down agad-agad on the early stages of the game. And even Onic-Ph, and wow, own advantage. I mean, personally, kung maggagawa ka ng cheese strategy talaga, it's better on the first game. Kasi from there, pag hindi siya nag-work, you can act accordingly. Diba? So, yeah, both of the teams are actually putting out heroes na never nga nilang ginamit on the regular season. Ang pinaka-interested talaga ako, Butters, alam mo kung sa kaninong hero? It was the Veil dito ng side ng Execreation. Kasi he may be the one to suffer the most compared to the Claude, specifically with the alarm bombs na pwedeng ibato ng Digi dito. Dahil we all know that ang isang Veil ay sobrang malambot. Just 2 to 3 alarm bombs, mapipilitan na siyang
Angela. Nalaban siya na nalaban kasi meron siyang Angela. Pero kung yung Veil kaya siya paputukin sa isang iglap, then might as well get another protection hero.
Yes, they have like a blazing duet. Meron silang meteor shower from the Changos, pero not a priority on his item. Most likely, the necklace would be put into Eto Max. So, yeah, ito na. Butters. First game na tong Execreation versus Onic-Ph.
Onic-Ph, they're aiming to go for a better run dito sa ating MPL MPL Season 7 playoffs. And don't remember, guys, that this was our 3rd place match nung MPL-S6.
Yeah.
Silang dalawa din yon. And right now, sila yung maglalaglagan dito sa first round ng ating second match ng lower brackets dito sa MPL playoffs.
Yes, definitely. Yun yung yung the reverse sweep na nagawa ng Execreation against Onic-Ph. Parang na 2-0 na nila yon. But going back into the game, Butters, medyo nag-fail ng konti doon si Jay to be able to contest yung yung orange buff dito ni Kel VJ. Why? It's because the PNK dito ni Chakno, binabantayan niya lang kung saan pumupunta rito yung Digi.
And as you can see, sila Kyrie and CJ, hinahabol lang siya ni Renjo and gusto niya kunin yung kill. And it seems to me na hindi feeding Digi strategy ang ginagawa nila. Literal na ginuzono nila na maayos at maayos ang paggamit nila ng Digi. Pero nakikita mo sila Kiel VJ, nangaagaw talaga ng buff. Ayaw nila magbigay. Napaka-aggressive ng play na ginagawa and Aegis was even used to save himself. So, napakalaki na ng implication sa akin na hindi talaga feeding Digi strategy ang gagawin ni Kuya Jay.
Exactly. And even on the emblem, pwede mong pansinin, it's already on the pull yourself together. Most of the time, the feeding Digis are actually using Mage Emblem to amplify the damage ng alarm bots. And like you mentioned, medyo nagkaroon ng slight na lamang dito sa rotation dito ang Execreation since na-cancel nila yung purple buff dito ng Onic-Ph. And still, hindi nagkaroon ng counter-invade dito ang Onic dahil nakuha din ni Kel VJ yung kanilang purple buff. But, right now, sa totoo lang, ang pinaka nagiging magandang talaga dito for Execreation is yung pag-zone out dito ni Chakno for the rest of the members dito ng Onic-Ph.
And turtle take, nangyayari dito. And yung trap nandoon, nahuli si Jay. And look at this, hate, pinasok ni Renjo. Torn apart memory na sa may pinakagitna. Lahat ng members dito ng Onic ay tumutumba. Dilar na knock-up at gustong-gusto niya talaga lumaban. Walang tumumba. Halos dito for the side of Execreation, si Eto Max lang. Pero for Onic, disaster yon para sa side nila.
Agree. That's definitely a disaster. Why? Kasi pinasok sila kaagad ni Renzo on the back lines. Yes, nakuha nila yung kill with Etomax dito para kay Dilar. Kaso, sabihin na natin nakuha naman ni Hate yung turtle na yon, pero at the cost of his own life. And at this point kasi hindi mo pa afford na ma-pick off ka after getting an objective dahil mas mas scaling dito yung Claude ng Execreation compared to this Brody. And going back, parang unti-unti ngayon na nasisiment ng Execreation yung early lead nila against Onic-Ph.
At habang nangyayari yung lahat, Iyakno sitting pretty dito sa may bottom lane, kinukuha niya lang yung stacks niya, and si Kyrie na naman yung nahuli. And another Aegis pop. Pati yung Time's Journey, isama mo na para masalba doon ang kanyang kampe. Ang ginagawa na dito ngayon ng side ng Onic, ginagamit na nila yung resources nila para hindi na ganun kahapde ang nangyayaring pagdudugo sa kanilang ekonomiya.
Yes, pero ito Butters, Onic-Ph might actually want to get the life of Renzo and they would succeed.
They will.
And right now, medyo at least kahit paano sumasapak dito ang Onic-Ph at posible nilang mabasag tong top lane. But, well, Kel-VJ is here. Wala siyang blaze, actually has a blazing duet. So, kailangan mag-ingat dito ng Onic-Ph. So, right now, kumbaga yung Onic, they're leaning towards into turret pushes eh. And they are capable on doing that. Dahil, itong si Kyrie, anytime, pwede siyang sumanib agad-agad dito kay Hit.
Kung napapansin mo dito, Rob, yung ginagawa naman ng Onic ngayon, talagang pinipilit nila puwersahin yung mga energy shields. Alam nila na kailangan nila yon para pumantay yung kanilang gold, nandito sa taas, na kailangan nila pantayin yan at kailangan nila makuha yung lead. Hindi nila pinapatagal yung bleeding eh. Kumbaga, kailangan mong lutusin agad to using other places dun sa may mapa or objectives dun sa may mapa para kahit papano hindi ka nagkakaroon ng head-on collision sa side ng Execreation. Kasi ang ganda ng teamfight capability nitong apat. Sama mo pa si Kel-VJ na dire-diretso na nagpa-farm hanggang ngayon.
Definitely. Dire-diretso talaga yung farm. But nakuha naman dito nung Claude yung turtle pero hindi pa umihinto yung laban Butters as Etomax will fall.
At andun na nga yung pacing na hinahanap ng Onic. Kumukuha lang sila ng kills. Ginamit ni Dilar yung kanyang ultimate. Nakahatak siya ng isa. Naparusahan na naman nila si Etomax. Pero seems to me na 2 kills na kay Etomax at 1 kill lang kay Renzo ang nakukuha pa nila dito. But at the same time, pumantay na rin ang ating kill score. Pati yung net worth nga natin, yung gold.
Sobrang dikit.
Yung gold natin, pantay na.
Yes, pantay na pantay talaga. As in, literal na walang lumalamang dito. It just so happened that Jay might actually fall in the hands of Kel-VJ. Kumbaga, ang papansin nila lang dito natin na kung sino ba ang mas lamang regardless na halos dikit ang gold, it was the jungler of Execreation compared to the jungler of Onic-Ph because, yes, nagkaroon siya ng isang patay and as well, hindi pa nahihinto yung farming dito ni Kel-VJ. We're in. This Claude will be the key for the output ng damage nila, specifically going into late game. At kailangan lang tuloy-tuloyin to ng Execreation. Pero Butters meron tong time frame. Like for example, ito dahil nga yung side lane ng Onic-Ph is also scaling as well, baka masabayan nila yung damage na pwedeng ibato dito ni Kel-VJ to the point na hindi na niya kayang ma-burst.
Tignan mo kung gaano kadaming ultimate na napapwersa ng isang Veil pick. Gagamitin lang ni Etomax yung ipo-ipo, babato niya lang yung kanyang ultimate. Mapipilitan na agad mag-react either si Kyrie or si Jay with the Time's Journey or Heartguard. So doon nagkakatalo kasi doon nakakahanap yung Execreation ng fighting chance. Kung kailan sila dapat lumaban, alam nila ngayon na walang Heartguard si Kyrie. So nakikita mo yung rotation nila. Kahit si Renzo papunta na din sa gitna.
Mas mas nagiging aggressive yung Execreation whenever they see na walang ultimate dito yung Angela. And another turtle will spawn in the next 5. So actually, pantay pa lang naman sila kung sino yung sa nakakuha ng turtle. Pero in terms of formation dito, sa may mismong turtle pit, mas lamang ang Onic-Ph. But it looks like Execreation would want to contest this one.
And Jack, no nahatak sila dito ang dalawa ni Koopa. And wow, Onic finding the right pick-offs. Si Iyak, no pumasok dun sa may gitna, kinapos yung kanyang flicker, pero hindi yun magmamatter kasi nakalabas rin naman siya at the end. And Onic, masaya sila doon sa naganap.
Definitely. A slight win for Onic-Ph. Nakuha na nila yung turtle. They also got the kill for Etomax. Pero at this point, Butters are already heading towards the 8-minute mark. Pero medyo passive in a way yung pagbasag ng Torre dito ng dalawang teams natin as they both have a decent minion wave clear. So, right this point, wala pang nababasag ni isang Torre pero mukhang mauuna yung bottom lane dahil 4 na members ngayon dito ng Onic-Ph ang pumapalibot pero wala pang minion wave.
And that is because they really just want to control yung jungle dito sa may baba. Alam nila na kailangan talaga nila lumaban because yung Execreation, nasa side nila yung oras eh. Pag mas matagal yung game, mas nagiging maganda yung galawan para sa kanila. And Dilar, humatak and kinuha niya lang yung lifesteal.
Yes, sumanib sa kanya si Kyrie and enough na yon para mabuhay siya and be able to sustain the damage output na gustong ibato sa kanya ng Execreation. And this would definitely happen going into late game. Parang pwede mong sabihin na yung magiging main tank ng Onic-Ph dito would be Dilar.
And Dilar is really just reliable. Ganun lang talaga eh. Reliable lang, may paninindigan at kakapitan mo talaga si Dilar kapag ka sa mga oras na kailangan mo ng kakapitan. And wala kang maano sa kanya eh. Wala kang masasabi sa kanya kasi sinabi nga natin ang role niya dito ay isang kuya na.
Oo. Siya talaga. And yeah, speaking of kuya, siya rin yung parang nagiging pillar dito ngayon ng Onic-Ph.
So,
and,
pillar si Dilar.
wow. Niray mo pa yun.
Hindi. Sinabi mo eh.
Pilar,
alam mo
si Dilar.
Alam mo naman
Pero
tayo.
ito, Butters, ang ganda ng ikot dito ng Onic-Ph. Kailangan umalis dito ng Execreation as Jay is going in dahil 3 members ng Execreation is going against Iyaknu na pilitang mag-flicker out. Pero delikado yung top lane, Butters. Pagka may sumilip dito, posibleng ma-pick off. At right at this point, Onic-Ph are the one who's controlling the tempo ng buong laro natin. 2 Torre na ang nababasag nila against Execreation.
And KLVJ, nahuli nila dito pero sabi ni Iyaknu, meron akong winter transition. Pero hindi magmamatter yon kasi 4 na members sa side ng Execreation ang makakahuli sa kanya. Meron pang isa, si Dilar sumama na. And Heartguard, kakayanin ba siyang isalba? Hindi rin kakayanin. 2 side lane dito, tumba. Para side ng Onic, Execreation, 3v5. Look at that! Oh my goodness! Tito Max! To the max place!
Yun na pala yung to the max play na sinabing key to victory kanina doon sa may panel. Yes, nakukuha ng 2 Torre dito ang Onic-Ph pero kapalit noon 3 members dito ng Onic-Ph at a chance to take the first Lord.
Tito Max, Max, kung ano man tawag mo sa kanya, kailangan mo respetuhin yung ginagawa niya ngayon dito sa Veil na to. Nakahuli na naman siya! Jay might go down! Pero sabi ng Execreation, tigilan na natin yan. Ang pakay lang natin yung Lord. Disiplina. Execreation, disiplina. And KLVJ is playing one of the perfect Claude games na pwede natin makita dito sa playoffs. Hindi pa siya namamatay. He's getting all the gold and items that he needs. Na-secure na rin dito ng Execreation yung pinakaunang Lord. And look at that. Look at that win rate percentage. 60% is going for Execreation. So, meaning to say, Butters, they are on the point na na-out-damage nila dito ang sustained capability ng Onic-Ph. But remember, merong trend ngayon ng Onic na kapag ka-late game yung nagaganap, mas naging successful sila. Si Chakno na hatak. Pero hindi kakayanin as he has flicker at makakatakas lang din siya. Kailangan dito ng side ng Onic na magsama-sama at magkapit-bisig kasi kanina nahuli sila ng isa-isa. At eto na naman, Veil! Nahuli na naman sila pero si Chakno doon sa may likod, si Max doon sa likod, abutin niya pero nandun si Renjo para ipagtanggol. Hindi ka natalo, ikaw ay natuto. Sabi yun ni Manny Pacquiao.
Yes, totoo yan. Tignan natin kung talaga bang natuto doon yung Onic-Ph.
Hindi si Manny yan eh.
Oo, totoo.
Si Sen yan eh.
Si Sen. Pero alam mo ito Butter siya. Ito ang nagiging problema ngayon dito ng Onic-Ph. Yung Brody nila hindi makakuha ng isang direct or rather makaburst down ng any of the members dito ng Execreation. And
grabe yung damage output. Hindi talaga kinakaya. At Chango doon with a meteor shower. At ito na, isama mo na yung Blazing Duet at hindi pipilit ni Kiel. Grabe yung pagiging disiplinado ng Execreation dito ha.
Oo, I mean, nag-Blazing Duet halos paalis doon si KLVJ. Nakuha naman nila yung kailangan nila. They got Dilar as well. Yes, naging trade doon si Renjo pero naubos nila lahat ng mga outer turrets dito ng Onic-Ph. And at this point, wala pa tayo doon sa part na sobrang nag-scale na yung dalawang side lane dito ng Onic, and we all know that KLVJ getting all the items, kayang-kaya, even just simply a blazing duet, kaya niya nang tunawin dito yung mga side lane ng Onic-Ph. Look at that, he already has a DHS, Golden Staff at Brute Force Plate. Pwedeng-pwede na siya, confident nang pumasok dito si The King, even on the backlines dito ng Onic-Ph.
So for the side of Onic, ano ba ang kailangan nilang gawin? Key to victory na binigay sa kanila ng panel, elongate the match.
Patagalin.
Kailangan nila patagalin yung match ngayon kasi automatically nakikita mo na Execreation, talagang laban-laban na sila. And Execreation milestones, yung Onic din may milestone kanina, ang dami nilang milestone.
Ang dami nilang
sana all.
na-break ng mga records
Oo.
dito for our MPL. Pero Butters, hindi pa rin natin pwedeng i-out dito ang side ng
Hindi pa rin.
Onic-Ph dahil nakapag-build na ng anti-carriers dito si Ruby, wherein kaya niyang i-tank ng bahagya dito yung damage output ni KLVJ. Kung titignan mo yung gold, no, this is what? Roughly 3,000 in lead regardless na nagkabasag-basag na yung kanilang mga torre. So, yeah, elongate. The question is, tatagal pa ba sila as Execreation is doing a great job in terms of getting all the resources. Kung papansinin mo nga si Renzo sa may top lane, fini-freeze niya na yon dahil ayaw niya nang magkaroon pa ng gold, ng items ang mga members dito ng Onic.
This is the way to go. Kumbaga, yun na nga lang yung inaasahan nila, yung pagpasok ng mga minions para makakuha sila ng gold. Babawasan mo pa yung isang lane na hindi siya makaabot doon sa side na yon. That is a huge blow to the economy na meron dito yung side ng Onic. Pero sabi nila, Kelra, sige lang, eto Max, kontrolin mo lang sila. Ang gagawin natin, pagka-ultimate nyo, o pagka-ultimate mo, babato ako meteor shower. Tignan natin kung makakapag-burst down tayo ng isang tao. Pero alam mo, sabi ni Iyak, no, sige, tapos na ako dito. Kaya ko nang lumabas. Kaya ko na mag-isa.
Yes, kayang-kaya. Kung iisipin mo nga, tatlong members ng Onic, ay rather ng Execreation lang yung tumapat doon sa may Onic kasi nakahiwalay si Renzo. Even KLVJ wasn't on the vicinity. Pwede lang nga naman siya mag-BMI. Pero, wow! This is it. They are going for Iyakno as their probably a main damage dealer going into their backline. Sa kanya na ngayon binibigay yung purple buff dito ng Onic-Ph at sinisimula na Butters dito ng Execreation. Kinakalampag na nila itong level 2 Lord.
Kinakalampag na nila indeed. And right now, look at this. Si Dilar nagkahulihan. Execreation masyado mabilis. Yung potential talaga nila mag-Lord. And eto Max, naulid sa likod. Flicker out, Keller out, flicker out. Eto Max and Renzo. Nandun sa may pinakakapan. Sinasapak lahat. Boboling ko pa will go down. Pero sabi ni Renzo, hindi pa ako tapos. Hate will be the next target. Tutumba siya. Nandun sa may pinaka. Harap naman si Kyrie at si Iyakno. Eto Max with the catch. Tito Max plays. What are you guys doing? Grabe naman yung side na Execreation dito. And Iyakno, buhay pa rin. KLVJ with the damage at Renzo, KLVJ connection. Sabay pumasok, ladies and gentlemen, ng Execreation. And right now, they are just putting up a show.
Definitely putting up a show na force agad yung times journey doon ni Jay just by simply with the knockups dito na manggagaling from the Pakito. So pinasok sa likod nila Iyakno and ni Kyrie yung mga squishy members dito na Execreation, but Tito Max or Eto Max, he was kiting all along, just putting out all the tornadoes. And mind you Butters, hindi pa nasasagot ng Onic-Ph dito yung Lord na na-secure ng Execreation.
And tignan mo yung gamit ni Eto Max dito, may fleeting time siya. Yung Lord nandoon sa may baba. Talagang lahat ng lanes covered ng side ng Exe. Onic, sila yung nagkakaproblema kasi hindi nila masolusyonan itong backline, yung backline problem with the side of Execreation. Chang Ovale, ang sakit niyan.
Sobrang sakit talaga. And I like the itemization dito na ginawa ni Eto Max. Nagpalit siya ng boots, nag-rapid siya dahil alam niya na siya yung isa sa mga pinapasok dito ng Onic-Ph. He would want to kite everyone para sa side dito ng Onic, pero it's look like Dilar, gusto na nilang lumabas. Ayaw na nilang maghintay pa ng dilubyo na binabato sa kanila dito ng Execreation. Dalawang base turrets na ang nawawala para dito sa Onic. It's time for them to make something on this game or else hihintayin lang ng Execreation na mag-respawn ng susunod na Lord and probably finish the game from there.
At eto nahuli nila si Eto Max. That is a step in the right direction. Kung ikaw yung side ng Onic, mas gusto mo yung mga ganyang play na huwag mong bibigyan ng buff, kontrolin mo yung mapa, and ginamit nila yung retribution to steal that orange, and ayaw mo din bigay kay KLVJ yun kasi right now, si KLVJ ang dami ng item Any kind of help or resource na makakatulong pa sa kanya magdagdag ng damage, i-deny mo na dapat sa kanya yon.
Oo, totoo yun, Butters. And wow, even Kel right now has a necklace of Durance. So, totally negated ngayon, at least by 50% dito, yung mga regeneration. Both Iyakno, naging successful kanina si Iyakno sa pagpasok sa likod. Hinabol lang niya ng hinabol dito sila Kelra. Pero right at this point, Butters, Execreation, they are the one commanding this game. And Dilar nasa gitna
And
na
Dilar nakahuli ng 4! Iyakno, ladies and gentlemen, going in! Renjo takes him down! At eto, takbuhan na KLBJ, ginamit yung BMI at si Renjo, lalaban pa ba? Grabe yung mga initiation na ginagawa nila sa isa't isa, para nagbabatuhan sila ng sapak.
Oo, and it's time. It's a 2-for-1 exchange. Onic-Ph gets a good trade and they would want to force this one, Butters. Walang blazing duet ngayon dito. Si KLBJ, muntikan pa doon si Dilar. Buti na lang saktong-saktong sumanib doon si Kyrie. And
look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This instant replay is brought to you by Oppo A94.
ito yung makikita mo, yung pagsanib mismo ni Kyrie dito kay Dilar, kung paano nila sinustain, nakuha nila dito si Chakno, sama pa dito si Kelra, pero masyadong napalalim si Iyakno, na knock up siya ni Renzo under the turret at nakakuha sila ng trade. Pero at that point, napapansin mo, Onic-Ph, they have this capability na sumabay pa rin naman against Execreation in terms of gold. Kahit hindi na natin masyadong pansinin, that's only a 2,000 in difference. Ang pinakamahalagang tignan natin ngayon, mga kaibigan, is sino ba ang makakapag-secure ng susunod na Lord. For the past 2 Lords, it's all about Execreation. Will Onic-Ph make a difference sa pangatlo?
They have to. Kailangan nila i-contest to ngayon. Kailangan nila makuha to ngayon. Bukas na ang kanilang base. Hindi nila afford na merong isang Lord na pumapasok doon sa may gitna at bubungguin yung kanilang base turret.
Yes, kung papansinin mo, Butters, kinakalampag lang, sinusubukan lang dito ng ni KLVJ na kung magko-contest dito yung Onic-Ph, probably go for the heroes itself. Ngayon, gamit na yung Time's Journey, Chakno, delikado.
And alam ni Chakno na talagang siya yung magiging pinakamadaling target para kay Dilar. The only reason why kaya nandun pa rin siya sa harapan is to avoid na mahuli yung ibang teammates niya ng ultimate ni Dilar.
Exactly, pero at this point, Butters, it looks like Onic-Ph might actually take the Lord, pero tinitignan pa rin to ng Execreation. 5v4 ang laban. Will Execreation get this one?
At dikit-dikit pa rin sila. Heart guard doon para nasa mga taong nasa harapan. Brody, dito talagang ina-assist lang nila. Yung tutumba! Makukuha ni KLVJ! Makakatakas ba siya? Yun yung tanong. And Renzo, napakakunat. Walang pumipigil. At Renzo, humaharap talaga. Nag-alaksan, ladies and gentlemen. And literal na laban lang.
Literal na literal yung laban doon, pero will that be enough? Yes, na-secure dito ng Execreation yung Lord, pero at what extent? 3 members nila yung nawala doon, or 2 dahil nauna doon si Chakno. Pero well, at least for Onic-Ph, this would definitely give them a breather room para kahit papano makapagdepensa sila dito sa Lord na paparating. And yes, in terms of itemization natin dito, look at that Brody, nag-full build na siya ng damage, kaya nakakapag-burst down na siya. And even Dilar is being able to sustain members dito ng Execreation. And yung Lord, ito na ngayon ang nagiging focus ng Onic-Ph. Kayang-kaya nilang depensahan to. Magre-respond na ngayon dito yung mga members dito ng Execreation. And I think, Butters, we are going back to square one.
We are going back to square one indeed. Pero Execreation, hindi na square one to for them eh. Ito na yung final step. Kumbaga, depends na ng thesis to. Ito na yung kailangan nilang patunayan. Kailangan na lang nila pumasa kay prop. Yung prop na yon, yung base. Kailangan na lang nila malagpasan, pero si Hate ang naging target at si Hate ang tutumba. And saan nyo kukunin yung main damage output nyo? Iyakno na lang dito, siya na lang yung inaasahan. And this might be it, Execreation. Nagmamarcha na sila. Ito na ata ang graduation. Nakapagdepensa na ata ng thesis.
That might cost them the game, Butters, kasi wala pang Time's Journey doon si Jay. Hindi niya kayang cancelin yung mga crowd control na pwedeng ibato doon ni Renzo. And wow, just by picking off